For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tyler Starr. I graduated from Somerville High School in 2010. I would like to speak to you today about living within a budget. I will cover income, expenses, how to cut expenses, and a conclusion. I have had to live within a budget because of my own living conditions. Some expenses really aren't that painful to cut. You'll be surprised how much money you can save. For my first point, I would like to speak to you about income. Before you can figure anything into your budget, you need to start with how much money you have to spend. This will include your paycheck or paychecks if you have more than one job. Next, you should figure any interest you get from savings accounts, investments, grants, parents, income tax refunds, and gifts. Once you have this total, you can begin your budget. For my second point, I would like to talk about expenses. First, list all of your living expenses. This should include your rent or mortgage, food, utilities, transportation, insurance, medical, and entertainment. As stated on ehow.com, you should determine as accurately as possible what expenses you have to expect for the next year. You can project expenses for a shorter period, such as the next 3 months, then multiply by 4 for yearly expenses. For my last point, I need to talk about what all this means. Living within a budget. You need to take the figure from your income column and subtract the total from your expense column. Once you get this figure, you can begin to cut expenses. As stated on lifehack.org, entertainment is the first expense that seems to be talked about when it comes to living on a budget. Do you eat out a lot? Do you go to the movies a lot? How many times a week do you go to Starbucks? You need to consider staying at home and cooking dinner yourself. You should do this as much as possible. Don't just make enough food for one meal, make enough to freeze for another meal, or maybe a sandwich for lunch. Consider brown bagging it every day, and carry a thermos with coffee so you won't have to go to Starbucks. Instead of going out to a movie, you could get Netflix or watch a movie on network television. If you have Dish or Comcast, you may want to downgrade or cancel altogether. Do you have a cell phone and a landline? Maybe you can do away with that landline. There are lots of ways to cut entertainment. Consider going to a museum or a free outdoor concert. In conclusion, I think you will agree with me that making a budget and sticking to it isn't really hard. I hope I've shown you that starting with your income first and making a list of your expenses is the best way to start. After you have subtracted your expenses from your income, you can begin to cut expenses. As stated by Mary Hunt with The Complete Cheapskate, as presented here in this book, an expert on how to save money. Now, in The Complete Cheapskate, she says, if your efforts to design a monthly spending plan that fits within your income have left you with a 3-alarm headache and feeling of defeat, take heart. You are not alone, and there are other remedies. If you are determined, nothing can stop you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe.